in the 608. Weekdays only on News 3 Now this morning. This is News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Good afternoon and welcome to Live at 4. Police in DeForest are looking for a man they say shot another man last night.
Police received word of the shooting at 10 o'clock. 33-year-old Micah Riggins of Madison allegedly fired a pistol multiple times during an argument at the Madison campground, striking another man in the lower body. The victim's at the hospital getting treated for his injuries, but he's expected to survive. Police think Riggins is still in Dane County and say he's armed and dangerous. Anyone with information about where Riggins could be should call the DeForest police at the number on your screen. You can also contact them anonymously at 608-846-6771.
To our campaign coverage now, Vice President Kamala Harris is making another stop in Wisconsin today.
That's right. It's her 7th visit since beginning her campaign for presidency. Our Will Keneally is out live at the event in Waukesha. Will, what can you tell us?
Yep, that's right. We're here right outside this event center in Waukesha. Think like a little theater here. Now, we're expecting Harris to be joined by Liz Haney in just a couple hours here, talking about conservatism in some of these suburban counties like Waukesha. It's a hotbed, certainly, of Wisconsin conservative politics. Now, it's among a various number of stops that she's making in quote-unquote blue wall states, including Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. Now, this also comes on the heels of more travel that we'll see. Certainly former President Obama and VP candidate Tim Walz will be in Madison tomorrow. And we just received word that the second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, will be campaigning back in Wisconsin this week on Thursday. He'll travel to Kenosha for a Get Out the Early Vote block party. Early voting in Wisconsin starts on Tuesday, so a push there for Democrats for that early voting. We don't have a time or location yet besides that Kenosha visit, but we do know that he will be with Maryland Governor Wes Moore and Harris's brother-in-law, Tony West. So again, we'll await Harris's visit back to Wisconsin here in Brookfield, Wisconsin in the next couple of hours here with Liz Cheney. We'll continue to provide you updates throughout the night, but for now, reporting in Waukesha County, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Will. And tomorrow, former President Barack Obama will be campaigning in Madison for the Harris-Walz ticket. He and Governor Walz will be holding a rally the same day as early voting begins in our state. It comes amidst a flurry of visits from Harris, of course, Walz, and Democratic surrogates to Wisconsin.
And let's get a look at your first Warren weather forecast. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington is out on the weather patio. Alex, what is it feeling like out there? Maybe a little sweaty?
Yeah, just a little bit. With temperatures up near 80 degrees, I still can't get over this weekend. I'm sure many folks in southern Wisconsin, our temperatures in the upper 70s to near 80 degrees on Sunday. Our overnight lows last night, we only dipped down into the middle 50s, and then we're back up to near 80 degrees here in southern Wisconsin. These are temperatures you would expect during the late summertime. We've got a lot of 79s out there. We're going for high around 79 degrees, so we made that right in the nose with the forecast. Even a sprinkle of a 80 or 2 to the northwest up near Sauk City and to the southeast down towards Edgerton. We've got some low 80s over portions of the Wisconsin River Valley, even an 82 right now in the Dells and That and Janesville. Unbelievable warmth across southern Wisconsin for late October. Planning our evening, you know I like to get my walk in after 6 o'clock. I will need shorts and a short sleeve shirt for that. And even when you join Jacob at 10 o'clock, still in the middle 60s across the area. Tomorrow's temperatures, upper 60s, right around 70. That's still nearly 10 to 15 degrees above normal. But we will have something that we haven't had in a while, some shower chances. And there's an even better chance for rain in the forecast. We'll break down those 2 rain chances for this week in a little bit together.
All right, Alex, thank you. Wisconsin continues to be a key swing state in this election.
With the polls showing a very tight race, candidates are continuing to make stops here. Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance was in Waukesha on Sunday speaking to potential Catholic voters about the upcoming election. Here's what he had to say.
But there are a lot of Catholics as a group. There are a lot of Catholics who I think rightfully feel abandoned by Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's leadership, and they're just looking for somebody to protect their rights and make this country an affordable and decent place to raise a family. And that's all. I think that's true of a lot of Catholics. It's true of non-Catholics too. But we cannot have an American government that is persecuting Christians for living their faith. We should be rewarding people and encouraging people to live their faith. We believe.
Well, joining us now with more on faith-based voters is Jalen Banks. Hey, Jalen.
Good afternoon, Marilyn Brady. The past week, we have seen both Democrat and Republican presidential tickets try to appeal to Christian voters. Vice President Harris speaking to church congregations Sunday in Georgia, and again, J.D. Vance speaking to Catholic voters in Waukesha. According to studies done by Gallup in March of this year, 2/3 of Americans identify as Christian, with 55% currently practicing. And speaking to one elections expert, this could be the difference maker in taking Wisconsin.
There are so many tiny things that might affect the votes of 15,000 people that in Wisconsin, any one of those things could be the thing that pushes a candidate over the finish line. And so it's smart of campaigns to try to branch out beyond their core message, to try to find little pockets of folks that they might be able to bring over to their side.
Now, just to emphasize just how tight Wisconsin continues to be, Wisconsin has been decided by less than a percentage point 4 out of the last 6 elections. Now, tonight at 5, I'll have more on why the candidates continue to make this push towards Christian voters and the impact it'll have on the election.
Jalen, thank you. One person is dead after a car ended up in the Yahara River overnight. Just after 1 in the morning, first responders arrived to Pirate Island in Monona, where they found a car floating upside down in the Yahara River. Multiple tow trucks pulled out the car and recovered the victim who had already died. Police say speed was a factor, but there's no evidence of suspicious activity leading up to the crash. The medical examiner will release the person's name at a later time.
Gas prices in Wisconsin have been steadily going down since the beginning of August. But despite this, many still continue. What happened to me? Happy Monday, everyone. Many continue to think that they're still too high.
Right. And News 3 Now's Kyle Pazorski asked people filling up today if this has any impact on the upcoming election.
With just about 2 weeks left to go until Election Day, we're asking people here in Madison what they think about gas prices and if they'll have any impact on their vote. According to tracking website GasBuddy.com, the average price for regular unleaded gas in Wisconsin sits a touch below $3. But it wasn't always this way.
You know, they've been skyrocketing, going down, skyrocketing, doing their own thing for the last couple of years.
Gabrielle from Madison isn't wrong. In January of 2021, when President Donald Trump left office, the state average was about $2.15. June of 2022, under President Biden, it was up to $4.91. And even while things have cooled in the 2 years since, the perception of gas prices being at record highs hasn't gone away. Is it more expensive now than it used to be, or about the same?
I think it's more expensive now than usually.
As for who people we spoke with say they're going to vote for, all can agree the cost of living will have an impact at the ballot box.
Everything is up right now. We need some saving because it's hard to live at this point.
In Madison, Kyle Pazorski, News 3 Now.
Kyle, thank you. Additionally, AAA says the national average right now continues to be above $3.17, down from $3.55 seen at the same time last year.
Still ahead on Live at 4, how the U.S. is responding to the leaking of classified documents online.
And the effect the Supreme Court's Dobbs decision had on birth rates and infant death rates when we're back.
Welcome to Oakmont Senior Community in Verona. Active seniors 55 plus will enjoy our new luxury apartments, professionally managed by award-winning Attic Angel. Call Demery today for a tour and reserve your place at Oakmont.
With high inflation, working families like mine are hurting, and Kamala Harris helped create this mess. Now, while Americans struggle, Kamala spent our tax dollars putting illegal immigrants up in hotel rooms, and she supported spending our tax dollars to give illegals sex changes. It's not just liberal, it's insane. Kamala Harris can never, ever be our president.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Fry Construction has done it again. For the 5th year, we've won the prestigious Best of Madison Award, and it's all thanks to you. To celebrate, we're offering 29% off our exclusive Absolute Gutter System with any full roof or siding project. Our gutters are custom fabricated on-site for a perfect, seamless fit that's engineered to excel. Don't just beautify your home, beautify it with the experts you trust. Call Fry Construction today and let us show you why we're the best of Madison.
Under Kamala, there's been a big hike in Medicare premiums. Social Security benefits don't go far with Kamala's inflation slamming seniors. Now Kamala wants struggling seniors to pay more Social Security taxes, while she gives Medicare and Social Security to illegals. That will doom Medicare. President Trump will make sure no one cuts Medicare or Social Security. Trump lowered Medicare premiums, and he'll end the tax on Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
I can honestly say that Cardinal has never let me down.
Cardinal is the place to go for any type of work that you need done around your home.
The kindness, the efficiency, the professionalism, the respect was amazing.
We were very impressed with their cleanliness.
I definitely recommend Cardinal Heating and Air Conditioning because of the professionalism, the communication they provided.
Cardinal will always be my first call for anything that Cardinal does.
I think we're going to continue to use Cardinal for a long time.
Out of money, I know. 20 of you, and you're rich as hell. We're going to give you tax cuts. We're going to pay you.
I am not rich as hell. I work hard. I scrape to get by. Donald Trump wants to give tax breaks to billionaires, but Kamala Harris has plans to help us. She's going to crack down on price gouging and cut taxes for working people like me. I voted for Donald Trump before, but this time I'm voting for Kamala.
FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
Welcome to Oakmont Senior Community in Verona. Active seniors 55 plus will enjoy our new luxury apartments, professionally managed by award-winning Attic Angel. Call Demery today for a tour and reserve your place at Oakmont.
The Biden-Harris administration is proposing a new rule that for the first time would make most group health plans and health insurance issuers cover over-the-counter birth control. That's without cost sharing. Plans issuers would also have to provide people with more choices of covered contraceptives. The Biden-Harris administration says the rule would also apply to certain immunizations, screenings, and other critical services for infants, children, and adolescents.
A new study shows infants in the United States have been dying at higher rates since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. New research from JAMA Pediatrics found in the year and a half after the court's decision, hundreds more infants died than expected. Most had congenital anomalies or birth defects. Other research shows births have increased in states with abortion bans. Experts say some of that is linked to disproportionate rise in the number of women carrying fetuses with deadly anomalies to term.
Scientists at Johns Hopkins University say black patients are about 74% more likely than white patients to receive opioid pills in their post-surgery recovery. But doctors are less likely to prescribe black people with a combination of 4 pain medicines that are less addictive than opioids. Researchers say they need to do more work to find out if some of those differences in treatment exist with other racial and ethnic groups.
Let's get a look at your first warn forecast. Alex is back in the studio. I'm going to blame the heat for why I was short-circuiting earlier in the show, Alex.
Totally valid.
Yeah,
thank you.
I think
so. I think that's a good reason for that.
I appreciate you.
And it's still hot outside. Look, it's 79 degrees in Madison right now. We were going for a high of 79, and this is not a late July or August or early September forecast, or current conditions rather. No, we are in the end of October. It's the 21st of October, and our temperature should be about 20 degrees cooler than where we are right now out there. Planning our evening, beautiful. Really no complaints if you enjoy the nice warm weather. Staying in the upper 60s to near 70 really through the entire evening. We do have some cooler weather on the way, though, for southern Wisconsin, but not tonight. Clouds will be filling in over southwestern Wisconsin. That will hold those temperatures up into the low to mid 50s. Upper 40s in the Wisconsin River Valley. They have a tendency to cool down a little more. Otherwise, low 50s across a good portion of southern Wisconsin. And then we do near 70 degrees again. How about that as we go into Tuesday? Couple of raindrops across the area. We're going to track those here together to show you where those raindrops will line up. Mississippi River right around 9:30 in the morning from Crawford down into Grant County, Platteville, Boscobel, Fenimore. You may be seeing a raindrop or two, and then notice the line kind of fizzles a bit as it moves to the east, stretching from the Dells down to Madison and Monroe, then moving over towards Janesville and then out of here. By the time you get to 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, so right about this time. This is a small chance of rain during the daytime on Tuesday. Much better chance of rain as we go into Thursday night. I'm excited about this one because we could absolutely use the raindrops. Check out my meteorologist Alex Harrington Facebook. I'd like to hear more about your thoughts on raindrops that we need across southern Wisconsin, because boy, oh boy, do we need those raindrops. And look at how widespread the green is here on the map as we go into Thursday night, going into Friday morning. We're expecting widespread showers and a couple of thunderstorms may be associated with that weather system. We cool down to about where we should be for this time of year, Saturday going into Sunday. All indications are, though, then we rebound again. Temperatures going back up well above normal for this time of year. Could be looking at a stronger storm system across the Midwest during the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday time frame. We'll have to keep an eye on that one, because if all ingredients come together, we get a little bit more moisture, a little bit more humidity up here into southern Wisconsin. That line of thunderstorms that comes through during that Tuesday to Thursday time frame, 1 or 2 of those could get on the stronger side, but we'll keep our eyes on that. We need the raindrops across southern Wisconsin for sure.
Right, Alex, thank you. The Pentagon is investigating a recent leak of highly classified documents. They contain what appears to be U.S. intelligence about Israel's plans to strike Iran. The documents ended up on the online message app Telegram that at the end of last week. It's unclear how that happened. We haven't heard from President Biden directly on the matter, but we've heard from the national security spokesperson, John Kirby. Here's what he said to reporters earlier today.
We're deeply concerned, and the president remains deeply concerned about any leakage of classified information into the public domain. That is not supposed to happen, and it's unacceptable when it does.
Last week, U.S. officials had said they expected Israel's counterattack on Iran to come before Election Day.
It comes as U.S. officials are on the ground in Lebanon today trying to broker a deal between Israel and Iran-backed Hezbollah. Overnight, Israel struck Beirut, taking aim at the bank Hezbollah uses to finance its activities. That bank also serves civilians. This as U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken begins his high-stakes trip to the Middle East today, seeking to advance long-stalled negotiations between Israel and Hamas. In addition to striking Lebanon, Israel's been upping its attacks on Gaza. The number of Palestinians killed now more than 42,000. We're about 2 weeks away from Election Day, and that means local stations like ours and networks across the country are preparing for a big night.
Right. Earlier, I spoke with Anthony Salvato, CBS's news director of elections and surveys, about how CBS calls races on election night and what that looks like here in Wisconsin.
You know, Wisconsin, of course, is one of 7 key battleground states, so I'll use that as a perfect example of ways in which we look at these races. Here's a blank map, but I'm going to bring up 2020. And what you'll see is the red counties going Republican, the blue ones going Democratic. Well, you know perhaps very well that Madison cast a lot of votes for Democrats traditionally. In 2020, Joe Biden built a 180,000 vote lead out of Madison. It's a similar story in Milwaukee. So we'll be looking to see if Democrats hit their turnout marks in very Democratic counties, whereas for Republicans, for Donald Trump, you're going to be looking for a consistent advantage across a lot of the smaller counties, certainly around the suburbs of Milwaukee and outer areas there. But just to put an emphasis on the point, don't just look at a map in 2D. You want to understand where the votes are coming from. So I'm going to tilt this on its side. And what you'll see is that the higher bars mean more voters. And that's what I mean by looking at turnout comparisons. Very high bar there, and it's blue around Madison. Very high bar there, and it's blue around Milwaukee, right? So that's one way that we do it. And the other way, very quickly, is I want to look at the shift that has occurred in a state. So, for example, when we looked in 2020, we saw compared to the previous election, a lot of rural counties had gone more Republican, a lot of, including Madison, had gone more Democratic. Consistency in those patterns often point you to who might do better in a state, including in a state like Wisconsin, Mara.
Yeah, and for our area here in Dane County, what are you paying close attention to here?
Well, one of the things besides turnout in Madison, in Dane County, is looking at the way in which votes come in and sort of urging everybody to have patience, which is to say that if I take the 2020 election for this example and I rewind the clock a little bit, let's say 10 p.m. Eastern time, you started to see some of the counties report, and yes, Dane County had put in some of its votes, but so many counties had not yet reported. Even if I rewind the clock just to 11 p.m., you still see some, but not all of the state having reported and filled in. When we get a really close race, like we expect Wisconsin to be, it may take a while, many hours, a long time for all the counties to fill in so that we can see those patterns and project a race. But I will emphasize this, that along the way, we will be telling you if a state is a toss-up, if our models show it as leaning towards one candidate or the other, and then ultimately when we're able to make a projection, Meryl.
Great. Anthony, thank you so much for your time. We look forward to seeing what happens in the upcoming election.
Thank you.
And later, we're continuing our 3 for the People coverage.
News 3 Now's Ellie LaLiberte is looking at the City of Madison's funding referendum, how it came to be, what people for and against it have to say about it, and what happens if it fails to pass. The referendum is a tax hike that translates to about $230 a year for the average Madison household. That's because the city says it's facing a $22 million structural deficit. On last week's Live at 4 Battleground Wisconsin, I spoke with Ellie about how the city got to this point.
Because of the cap on the state funding, that makes it a little bit difficult for them to raise limits. The population growth, they said, is making it hard for them to meet needs, along with inflation. Because of the limit, they're not able to keep pace with inflation. Another thing is they didn't get some of the pandemic relief funding this year, so that created, more problems with this deficit. But it's something that we've seen in the past. The city's saying that they have been in a deficit for the past 14 years. This is just one of the worst we've seen.
You can watch Ellie's story tonight on News 3 Now at 10. She'll also be bringing us coverage throughout the week related to the referendum. You'll be able to find all of the information she brings us on channel3000.com when you click the 3 for the People Election 2024 banner at the top of our homepage.
And this next story is a scream.
Truly, Josh Sprider and the 608 take us to Screamin' Acres. We'll show you how they did and how you can join in.
Sarah Kieski, she supports lifting revenue limits, allowing property tax rates to skyrocket unchecked. Kieski's backers want to ban natural gas to heat our homes, driving utility bills through the roof. That's Kieski's record, expensive and extreme.
Out of money, I know 20 of you, and you're rich as hell. We're going to give you tax cuts. We're going to pay you.
I am not rich as hell. I work hard. I scrape to get by. Donald Trump wants to give tax breaks to billionaires, but Kamala Harris has plans to help us. She's going to crack down on price gouging and cut taxes for working people like me. I voted for Donald Trump before, but this time I'm voting for Kamala.
FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
When it comes to winning internet, TDS is in a league of our own. Just like the Green Bay Packers, Wisconsin born and bred, we live, work, play, hire, and get involved in the communities we serve. Like delivering the green and gold standard of internet. 100% fiber internet that's as fast, powerful, and reliable as your other hometown favorite, the Packers. TDS, internet that's built Wisconsin strong.
You have a clear choice in this election. Senator Baldwin is a 38-year career politician. I'm a businessman and job creator. She supports taxpayer benefits for illegal immigrants. I'll close the border. Tammy wants to put guys and girls sports in their bathrooms. I'll protect our daughters. Senator Baldwin abuses the political system. I'll fight the corruption. I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message. I'd be honored to have your vote.
When I was 5, I began getting sexually abused by my stepfather, and he got me pregnant when I was 12. "64,000 pregnancies from rape have occurred in states with total abortion bans. And Trump did this. Women and girls need to have choices. With Kamala Harris, we do."
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message. It's Brad Beasley over at Tundraland, Wisconsin's trusted jacuzzi bath and shower remodeler. It's our fall into savings sale at Tundraland. In as little as 1 day, you can turn your bathroom from average to amazing. Your new jacuzzi shower will be the centerpiece of your home. If you act now, you'll get free installation with no money down, no payments, and no interest for a whole year. Call 1-800-TUNDRALAND or visit tundraland.com today.
Tundraland.com.
Sarah Kieski, she supports lifting revenue limits, allowing property tax rates to skyrocket unchecked. Kieski's backers want to ban natural gas to heat our homes, driving utility bills through the roof. That's Kieski's record, expensive and extreme.
Screamin' Acres is celebrating its 13th season this year, and organizers invited the News 3 Now This Morning team to check out their popular last resort attraction.
Can they make it out alive? Ooh, I don't know. Take a look for yourself in the 608.
All right, you guys ready? I don't know which way to go.
What are you talking about? Why are you walking so fast? Ooh, there's bugs.
Oh, not the crib.
It's okay, guys.
We got separated!
We're here.
You're leading this train.
It's not moving.
Oh my God! I should have back there!
Josh, you're first! What is that? Go! Hey, but we survived, you guys.
We survived!
We're the champions!
That was fun.
Yes. Look at that. They made it.
They did. Do you like those things?
Yeah. If I have a friend to go with, maybe.
So you can all huddle together like they were doing.
Yeah, like a caterpillar, just or like little penguins snuggled up to each other.
I think
that's good.
MVP goes to Kyrie on. She was my
Yes, I was always watching her. Her eyes were just lit up and big, so she's awesome. Well, if you want to get in on that kind of action, Screamin' Acres has tickets available for the final 2 weekends of the season.
You can find more details on channel3000.com. Our Coats for Kids drive is all wrapped up, and if you missed out on the opportunity to donate, well, you can still help out. We're looking for volunteers for this year's distribution this Friday, October 25th. It's from 9 in the morning to 6 at night. To sign up, go to this story on channel3000.com. And thank you so much to everyone who donated, and we hope to see you next week.
All right, and coming up on Live at 4, how the city of Madison is seeking to fight its housing crisis with a new program for landlords.
And local high schoolers host a U.S. Senate race town hall. Which candidate didn't show up?
Get an 11% rebate on your bathroom remodel now at Menards. Create your dream bathroom with Sterling tubs and showers. They'll fit your style and budget and are easy to clean. Get this ensemble shower for only $669.99 after rebate. Check out our great selection of over 100 Magic Woods vanities. These high-quality vanities add a unique style and functional storage. This Haverhill vanity is $328.99 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards. Under Kamala, there's been a big hike in Medicare premiums. Social Security benefits don't go far with Kamala's inflation slamming seniors. Now Kamala wants struggling seniors to pay more Social Security taxes, while she gives Medicare and Social Security to illegals. That will doom Medicare. President Trump will make sure no one cuts Medicare or Social Security. Trump lowered Medicare premiums, and he'll end the tax on Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Shop the largest selection of Chevy trucks and SUVs in Wisconsin at Bergstrom Chevrolet. Lease a new Silverado 1500 starting at $355 a month, or a 24 Equinox EV starting at $299 a month. Stop in or shop and purchase at BergstromMadison.com.
With Sweeto Metal Roofing, you get quality metal roofs installed by the best in the business. A metal roof means no fading, no storm repairs, true sustainability, and lower energy bills.
Sweeto Metal Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
You have a clear choice in this election. Senator Baldwin is a 38-year career politician. I'm a businessman and job creator. She supports taxpayer benefits for illegal immigrants. I'll close the border. Tammy wants to put guys and girls sports in their bathrooms. I'll protect our daughters. Senator Baldwin abuses the political system. I'll fight the corruption. I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message. I'd be honored to have your vote.
For 52 years, they've been trying to get Roe v. Wade into the states. I did a great service in doing it.
You want to talk about this is what people wanted? Pregnant women suffering from a miscarriage being denied care in an emergency room because the healthcare providers are afraid they might go to jail, and she's bleeding out in a car in the parking lot. The freedom to make decisions about one's own body should not be made by the government.
FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Well, if a haunted house like Screamin' Acres isn't your thing, maybe you can step outside and enjoy a warm fall day.
Yeah, I mean, it's been really mild. That's our weather word for the day, another mild day ahead. And it's because, you know, it's not too toasty, it's not too crazy for this time of year. Alex, what can you tell us?
Yeah, it's comfy out here on the patio. That's because we have dry air in place, and dry air has been really the theme for the better part of 2 months across southern Wisconsin. In fact, dry air warms up and cools down pretty quickly, so that's why we have warm days and cool nights out there. I want to give a quick shout out here to Jody from Easton Township, north of Madison up towards Adams County, where we have this stunning, beautiful fall colors. We're nearing that peak. This is beautiful weather to get out and enjoy the peak fall colors while it still lasts. Scan the QR code and you can link up your weather photos. Then I could show them here across southern Wisconsin and showcase all your pretty weather pictures as well. And it's pretty out here on the patio. Just a couple clouds up there right now. 79 in Madison. We got 80 in the Wisconsin River Valley up towards Juneau and Adams counties. Temperatures up near 82 degrees in Camp Douglas. No, it's not the end of July or August. It's the end of October, and we're just experiencing unseasonably, if not near close to record warmth across southern Wisconsin. A lot of 79s across Dane County. That's the high that we were going for today. Planning the rest of our evening tonight. I'm going to try to get my walk in this evening between 6:30 and 7:30. We'll still see temperatures right around 70 degrees when you join Jacob a little bit later. Temperatures still in the middle 60s for 10 o'clock at night. Normal highs are in the mid to upper 50s, so overnight tonight, even with low temperatures dipping down into the lower 50s, our lows are closer to our normal high temperatures for this time of year across southern Wisconsin. Coming up, though, in Maine weather, we're going to talk about 2 different rain chances across southern Wisconsin. We got a rain chance tomorrow night and then a bigger rain chance on Thursday. How much rain are we talking about? I have the answer in a little bit.
Thank you, Alex. Today, Vice President Kamala Harris is back in Wisconsin. She's campaigning with former Republican Representative Liz Cheney.
Our Will Keneally is live in Waukesha County right now, where the two will stop next. Will, what are we expecting to hear?
Yep, that's right. In just a couple of hours, we're expecting Vice President Kamala Harris to sit in this theater right behind me here with Liz Cheney, as you were mentioning before. Now, this is taking place in Waukesha County, a hotbed of conservative politics here in Wisconsin. So we're expecting Harris to likely make a pitch to maybe some of those conservative voters who are turned off by Trump being on the ballot this election. Now, it comes on the heels of similar visits that she's made across the country, including battleground states like Pennsylvania. We heard there Harris talk about the distinction between her and Trump at that Pennsylvania event. Take a listen.
I have said many times publicly, and I'll say it again, in many, many ways, Donald Trump is an unserious man. But the consequences of him being president of the United States are brutally serious.
Now, that could be a teaser to what we would expect her to talk about later tonight here in Wisconsin. Harris, again, is expected to take the stage within the next couple of hours, and we will continue to provide you coverage throughout the night about this moderated discussion here in that crucial Waukesha County. But for now, reporting from Brookfield, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
Will, thank you. Madison West High School hosted the first senatorial town hall in the Madison Metropolitan School District. West students want to hear from all the candidates running for U.S. Senate, including the two frontrunners, Baldwin and Hovde. But only one of them showed up today. The Student Civics Club and administrators have been organizing this town hall for over a year. They've contacted Tammy Baldwin, Eric Hovde, and the two other candidates. Both Baldwin and Hovde agreed to talk at the town hall this afternoon, but Hovde canceled on Friday. Baldwin and independent Philip Anderson still attended. Both candidates were asked about 10 questions covering everything from immigration to gun safety to women's reproductive rights. West High School invited all the candidates from differing parties to give students a chance to learn more about policies that affect Americans.
So we really wanted to showcase both sides of this argument so that voters, especially young voters who are voting for their first time in this election, would know what they're voting on and what they're voting for.
Clark Schrager, who is part of the Civics Club, was one of the moderators on the stage. He says that the door is open for Hovde to visit in the future for another town hall styled meeting. News 3 has reached out to the Hovde campaign for a statement on why he did not attend. We have not heard back, but we'll keep you updated with the story on our Friday Battleground Wisconsin segment.
Wall Street pulled back from its records ahead of a big week for profit reports, with more than 100 companies in the S&P 500 set to give details on their summer performances. The Dow Jones down 344, the Nasdaq is up 50, and the S&P 500 down 11.
Continuing our 3 for the People coverage this week, we're tackling where the candidates stand on crime, the state of criminal justice here in Wisconsin, and what it all means for your wallet this election season.
Today, our Maddie Heimsch brings us expert perspective on the rhetoric we've seen around crime and the data right here in Madison. Maddie?
Yeah, we've heard Kamala Harris and Tim Walz claim that violent crime was up during Trump's administration. And on the other side of the aisle, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance make repeated claims that Harris is, quote, soft on crime. But what do we know as fact? I sat down with 2 UW law professors. They both say not only is crime on a downturn nationwide, but it's largely decreasing here in Wisconsin as well. They also agree that the sound bites we hear from candidates don't tell us much.
What is tough on crime or hard on crime or soft or lenient on crime really is up to the eye of the beholder.
What we know is that crime rates in the U.S., since we've been tracking them, peaked in the early 1990s and then fell pretty steadily until we hit the pandemic. And then we saw this uptick that again appears to be kind of leveling off.
Cecilia Klingel and Adam Stevenson tell me regardless of the platforms presidential candidates run on, they have little say in how state governments handle crime. And in relation to other states, Wisconsin has generally low crime levels that keep going down. On News 3 Now at 6, I'll break down the trends here in Madison and Dane County. And on Tuesday, I speak with local advocates about gun violence and firearm rights. Hear what they have to say about federal policies affecting the safety of our communities tomorrow on News 3 Now.
Thank you, Maddie. Madison's launching a new program to help fight the city's housing crisis. The Rental Rehabilitation Loan Program offers landlords who charge no more than fair market rents in buildings of up to 20 units a loan to make major repairs and implement energy-efficient upgrades in their units.
Costs, and even though it's a program for property owners and landlords, the ultimate goal really has renters in mind to make sure that people are living in safe units, especially in some of the city's most vulnerable parts.
Applications are processed on a first come, first served basis. Properties in targeted parts of the city's southwest, south, and north sides will receive more attractive loan terms and see their application fees waived. More information about the application process is up on thecityofmadison.com.
The largest, most comprehensive study into the cause of Alzheimer's disease and related dementias has kicked off, and researchers and patients here in Dane County are leading the charge.
Arman Rahman has more on what makes this research effort so unique. Arman?
Brady and Merrill, the study will involve 2,000 participants from across the country, but the very first is an African-American woman from Dane County. Barbara Smith-Ballin had her first brain scans in August, and she'll keep getting them over the next 5 years. It's to track the presence, absence, or change in molecules that are hallmarks of Alzheimer's disease through imaging. And researchers here say it's the first time a national-scale study has focused on understanding the disease in so many specific groups.
Getting Miss Barbara into this study is a way that clarity is showing that this is not business as usual, that we actually mean what we say about doing more inclusive science, because inclusive science is actually good science, and good science is what the government wants everyone to be doing anyway.
Now, according to Professor Okonkwo, participants must be at least 55 years old, 40% do not have any cognitive symptoms of Alzheimer's or dementia yet, and 60% do. Tonight at 6, I'll go more into why the study hopes this can approach the racial disparity in Alzheimer's and dementia different than past research.
Thank you, Arman. Still ahead, whether the latest horror movie at the box office is worth seeing.
Will Loper tells us when we're back.
Under Kamala, there's been a big hike in Medicare premiums. Social Security benefits don't go far with Kamala's inflation slamming seniors. Now Kamala wants struggling seniors to pay more Social Security taxes, while she gives Medicare and Social Security to illegals. That will doom Medicare. President Trump will make sure no one cuts Medicare or Social Security. Trump lowered Medicare premiums, and he'll end the tax on Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
After careful review of medical guidance and research on pain relief, my recommendation is simple. Every home should have Salonpas. Powerful, yet non-addictive. Targeted and long-lasting. I recommend Salonpas. It's good medicine.
This is Good News, Madison. Brought to you by Don's Home Furniture.
Overture Center's mission is to support and elevate the community's creative culture through the arts. So 2024 marks the 20th anniversary of the opening of Overture Center for the Arts, and we are celebrating all of what we call the O moments that people experience when they come to Overture.
And that is Good News, Madison, brought to you by Don's Home Furniture.
Here's the secret worth sharing. Robertson, Wisconsin's aesthetic leader, has nurses that specialize in custom treatment plans. Always natural, never overfilled. Time to learn how aging is different at Robertson.
Tens of millions of roofs across America are failing, wearing out decades early and leaking, oftentimes without you knowing about it, causing tremendous damage. Here's how you know you have a problem with your roof. Black streaking, your roof looks rough, or granules shedding off into your gutters or showing up in your driveway. Your roof is wearing out too fast, and it's going to cost you a bundle. RoofMax makes your roof like new by strengthening and rejuvenating it. So give us a call, and we'll give you a free assessment to see if your roof qualifies.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Donald Trump makes a lot of promises, but we can be sure of one thing. If he wins, he'll ignore all checks that rein in a president's power. It's all in Trump's Project 2025 agenda. What does that mean for you? Higher cost on groceries, cuts to Social Security and Medicare, more tax breaks for billionaires, and a national abortion ban putting women's health at risk. A second Trump term, more unhinged, unstable, and unchecked.
The line between church and state is blurring. Coming up at 5, we're taking a closer look at how religion is playing a bigger role in politics and what it could mean for the election.
Tracking cooling temperatures, and actually we're tracking multiple rounds of rain in our forecast. Coming up at 5, which day this week we stand the best chance for rain.
And ahead at 6, politicians promise to be tough on crime, but what do the numbers really say? We're breaking down local and national crime trends tonight at 6.
Makers of a new horror sequel have plenty of reasons to smile today.
Smile 2 had a big opening weekend. Will Loper has a closer look in the Loper Report.
Meryl and Brady. Horror movie fans had plenty to smile at this past weekend as scary sequel Smile 2 won the box office with a respectable $23 million. But will you walk out of the movie grinning ear to ear?
Ladies and gentlemen, Sky Riley, you are in the middle of a big world tour. You okay?
I keep seeing this face everywhere.
The first Smile film came out in 2022, introducing us to a world in which a cursed individual would see smiling people everywhere.
It's smiling at me.
Just when we thought we were safe from that marketing campaign, a sequel is out with more of those creepy, creepy facial expressions.
This thing is a parasite. You witnessed a death. Now it's latched onto you.
This time around, Naomi Scott stars as Sky Riley, a pop singer who finds herself cursed by the smile demon, and her life begins to unravel.
Sky, pull it together and get back out there. No.
This sequel gives all the scares and frights you could hope for in a horror film and ramps up the intensity appropriately as the movie goes on.
We have to end it, no matter what.
And Naomi Scott gives a truly dedicated performance at the center of it all as Sky, who gets increasingly besieged by all the smileys.
No, come on, what?
If you're a fan of scary movies and need something to celebrate the Halloween season, you'll absolutely want to see Smile 2. Everyone else, best stay far, far away from these pearly whites. For Live at 4, I'm Will Loper.
I need to stop it.
Saw it last night. It was pretty good.
I bet it was.
Yeah. You're not venturing out?
Well, did you watch it by yourself or were you with a friend?
I went with some people, and we all kind of did like a few jumps, yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
I think it's okay if you have a little buddy. It's good.
Yeah.
I'm
like
squeamish. I get scared, you know.
Well, Thanksgiving's coming up, so
yeah,
you'll be safe soon.
I like the mushy-gushy stuff. Well, still ahead at Live at 4 with the election just under 2 weeks away. Many adults are reporting feeling some level of election anxiety.
To help, Christine Whelan joins us with how to cope when we come back.
My husband and I were elated to find out that we would be having another baby. But after many tests, my doctors agreed that we had to terminate the pregnancy. It was the worst day of my life. You should know that Eric Hovde supports laws that stop me and my doctor from making that decision. And that's a ban with no exceptions in cases of rape or incest. It's a ban that could turn doctors into criminals. He opposes abortion, period.
WIN Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
Under Kamala, there's been a big hike in Medicare premiums. Social Security benefits don't go far with Kamala's inflation slamming seniors. Now Kamala wants struggling seniors to pay more Social Security taxes, while she gives Medicare and Social Security to illegals. That will doom Medicare. President Trump will make sure no one cuts Medicare or Social Security. Trump lowered Medicare premiums, and he'll end the tax on Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Meet Sarah Kieski. You might see her walking around in her Woke Genius t-shirt. Radical, just like the groups that support her. Kieski supporters want to defund the police. Her allies want to give voting rights to illegals and make it easier for felons to vote. And Kieski is backed by a group that wants to let criminals out early. Want to know where Sarah Kieski stands? Just look at the company she keeps.
These Baldwin ads are nasty.
I can't stand them.
She never tells the truth. Now she says Eric Hovde wants to raise the retirement age.
That's malarkey.
I saw in the news Social Security will be going bankrupt in 8 years.
Are you kidding? We need Social Security.
You're surprised? Washington spends money like crazy.
And Baldwin supports all of it.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
You better get a job.
You get a job.
Out of money, I know. 20 of you, and you're rich as hell. We're going to give you tax cuts. We're going to pay you.
I am not rich as hell. I work hard. I scrape to get by. Donald Trump wants to give tax breaks to billionaires, but Kamala Harris has plans to help us. She's going to crack down on price gouging and cut taxes for working people like me. I voted for Donald Trump before, but this time I'm voting for Kamala.
FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
When my husband got throat cancer, it wasn't just a health crisis. It was a financial one for my family. And that's something rural families know all too well. Joan Ballwig voted against expanding affordable health care for rural families and against bringing drug costs down. And that's one reason I decided to run against her. I'm Sarah Kieski, and I'm running for state senate. Because when someone you love needs medical care, the last thing you should have to worry about is how to pay for it.
The election is just over 2 weeks away, and many adults are reporting anxiety, and it's not just about one specific policy.
Data suggests most people's fear is about what they don't know. Joining us for strategies to fight election anxiety is Christine Whelan. Yeah, people are feeling it lately.
Oh my goodness, right? I mean, certainly we're getting all the emails and we're getting the texts and we're getting bombarded with information, but also there's this sense of the unknown, right? It's coming up and it's close, so we don't know what's going to happen. And you know what people fear most of all?
What's that?
Uncertainty and the unknown.
Yes.
This triggers all of our fears that something bad is going to happen, that we can't control the world around us. And when that happens, we tend to get anxious, but we also tend to shut down and pull inward rather than reaching out and getting involved in collective action.
Because it's easy to doom scroll on all of the social media.
Especially social media.
Yeah.
You just keep swiping.
And like you said, you see stuff that you can't control. So what can you do to maybe kind of take some of that back?
So first, the idea is to try to move away from that either-or thinking, right? All of this, if this happens, then that happens, and that really fuels our anxiety. The second thing is to think about what you can do. You can make sure you're registered to vote. You can canvass. You can sign up with a political party and go and actually make sure that your voice is heard. There are other smaller things that you can do as well within your own home. You can actually think about what you value, not all the bombardment that's coming in. What are your core values? How can you use your strengths to make a positive impact on the lives of others? So anytime we're feeling that overwhelming sense of anxiety, thinking about what we can do builds self-efficacy and builds a sense of agency that tends to make us happier.
Right, totally. And I feel like anxiety is already pretty hard to talk about, and then you compile politics on top of that, and that can be another added pressure to not speak up. So what do you have to say about that?
So this is also this difficult time of year where everyone's getting so heated that family relationships are even fraying, right? This is not the thing that you want to ruin your family and friendships over, right? So thinking about the commonalities and thinking about what you love about the person, trying to calm things down is really important. That is not to say that there aren't huge issues in this election, that there aren't very different ideas that are on the table. But know that you as an individual, there are actions you can take, and even though we are in Wisconsin, one individual is, you're watching TV and looking at all those tweets, that's not going to make or break things. But there are things you can do to get involved, so do what we can.
Yeah, that's good advice because it's easy to get swept up in all this. So thank you for sharing some of those things.
Absolutely. The key to happiness is really feeling like you are in control in these times of uncertainty.
Thank you very much, Christine.
Thank you so much.
Good to be here.
Well, if warmer weather makes you happy, Alex Harrington has a forecast for you. Alex?
Plenty of it. Even our temperatures cooling down as we go into this week is going to be mild for this time of year. But no, not a misprint. I say that often lately. 79 degrees right now in Madison at the end of October. Near record warmth. We were going for a high of 79 and planning your evening. All we're going to do is mid to upper 60s by the time we get to 10 o'clock tonight. Unprecedented warm temperatures continue across southern Wisconsin. Let's track further into the morning hours, starting off at 52 in Madison, upper 40s in the Wisconsin River Valley. There could be some mid-50s across portions of southern Wisconsin, too, especially if we get clouds increase a little bit earlier than currently anticipated. High temperatures as we move into Tuesday, upper 60s to right around 70 degrees. That's still 10 to 13 degrees above normal with some water on the way. A few spotty showers out towards the Mississippi River at 9 o'clock. They fizzle a bit as they stretch towards Madison, over towards Monroe and Janesville, and then that's out of here by the time we get to this time tomorrow evening. That's weather system number one. Better chance for a weather system Thursday night. I'll give you a glimpse of what that will look like right now here. Widespread showers, maybe a clap or two of thunder wonder as we head towards late Thursday afternoon going on into Friday, wee hours of the morning, where we could be looking at anywhere between 1/2 and 3/4 of an inch of water. That would be very much needed across all of southern Wisconsin. Quiet over the weekend and then turning unsettled next week. We'll be right back.
Under Kamala, there's been a big hike in Medicare premiums. Social Security benefits don't go far with Kamala's inflation slamming seniors. Now Kamala wants struggling seniors to pay more Social Security taxes, while she gives Medicare and Social Security to illegals. That will doom Medicare. President Trump will make sure no one cuts Medicare or Social Security. Trump lowered Medicare premiums, and he'll end the tax on Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Meet Sarah Kieski. You might see her walking around in her woke genius t-shirt. Radical, just like the groups that support her. Kieski supporters want to defund the police. Her allies want to give voting rights to illegals and make it easier for felons to vote. And Kieski is backed by a group that wants to let criminals out early. Want to know where Sarah Kieski stands? Just look at the company she keeps.
Sometimes the smallest cracks can cause the biggest chills. This fall, watch out for The Draft.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
You have a clear choice in this election. Senator Baldwin is a 38-year career politician. I'm a businessman and job creator. She supports taxpayer benefits for illegal immigrants. I'll close the border. Tammy wants to put guys and girls sports in their bathrooms. I'll protect our daughters. Senator Baldwin abuses the political system. I'll fight the corruption. I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message. I'd be honored to have your vote.
For 52 years, they've been trying to get Roe v. Wade into the states. I did a great service in doing it.
You want to talk about this is what people wanted? Pregnant women suffering from a miscarriage being denied care in an emergency room because the healthcare providers are afraid they might go to jail, and she's bleeding out in a car in the parking lot. The freedom to make decisions about one's own body should not be made by the government.
FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
Take a look at this, a pair of dash cam videos that look just plain reckless, but these are actually tactical maneuvers. They're designed to put a stop to misbehaving drivers.
They first capped off a tense encounter that began with an armed robbery suspect fleeing from police. Officers were able to swerve her to a stop before a dangerous encounter turned deadly.
We'll be right back.
Sarah Kieski, she supports lifting revenue limits, allowing property tax rates to skyrocket unchecked. Kieski's backers want to ban natural gas to heat our homes, driving utility bills through the roof. That's Kieski's record, expensive and extreme.
For 52 years, they've been trying to get Roe v. Wade into the states. I did a great service in doing it.
You want to talk about this is what people wanted? Pregnant women suffering from a miscarriage being denied care in an emergency room because the healthcare providers are afraid they might go to jail, and she's bleeding out in a car in the parking lot. The freedom to make decisions about one's own body should not be made by the government.
FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
Peter Barca dishonored our service and America's commitment to veterans.
And Congress, Barca voted to cut our benefits, impacting our lives, our families. It's just wrong.
It's just wrong.
Veterans can't trust career politicians like Peter Barca, and neither can you.
Brian Stile will always work to protect veterans like me.
Brian is not a career politician, he's a fighter, and he's always working for us.
I'm Brian Stile, and I approve this message.
Under Kamala, there's been a big hike in Medicare premiums. Social Security benefits don't go far with Kamala's inflation slamming seniors. Now Kamala wants struggling seniors to pay more Social Security taxes, while she gives Medicare and Social Security to illegals. That will doom Medicare. President Trump will make sure no one cuts Medicare or Social Security. Trump lowered Medicare premiums, and he'll end the tax on Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
I'm working harder than ever just to pay the bills and provide for my family. But here's what Kamala Harris thought my money should go to instead. Job training for illegal immigrants, even after they commit crimes